Hi, Chris Westfall here. Thanks for being here on the presentation. I just want to spend a few minutes this morning going over some things that will help you with research-based knowledge and forming your questions, framing your presentation, and knowing what's important to seniors right now as you're talking to them. I mean, wouldn't it be great if you could read into their minds and see what's most important to the person you're talking to on the phone? That's what this study, done late last year, 2012, by the AHIP organization, which is an industry organization tied specifically to Medicare. Many people know that AHIP provides the training required when you want to sell Part D drug plans or Medicare Advantage. You've got to go through AHIP training. And it talks about Medicare as a core training program and all that kind of stuff, mostly having to do with Medicare Advantage. But in this particular case, this study done by AHIP looked specifically into Medigap plans, Medicare Supplement plans, why people have them, why people keep them, and what's most important when considering a plan. So I want to look at some of these numbers with you because it really will help frame your conversation and, more importantly, frame your questions as to how your particular person that you're talking to feels about these things. Knowing the answer to the question, Perry Mason always said, before you ask it is most important. So don't ever ask a question that you don't already know the answer to, and this will help you understand kind of what's in their mind when they're on a Medicare supplement plan or considering another one. First of all, you need to know that in this 2012 study, 92% of people on a Medicare supplement plan are happy that they have one. That's a super high number. And of course, it breaks down into more specifics over here on the right. But it's important to know that most people on a Medicare supplement plan, most everyone on a Medicare supplement plan is very happy that they have one. And that's very important to know. We're really helping folks here. But what they like most about their Medicare supplement plan, look at the top there. It limits out-of-pocket costs for health care. It provides financial security and peace of mind at an affordable price. Knowing that can help you frame your presentation. If you're wrapping your presentation around using these key targeted numbers or these words here, you want something that's going to limit your out-of-pocket exposure for health care. Super important when you're going to be the highest consumer of medical care in your entire life. It's going to be when you're a senior. And that provides the financial security and peace of mind at an affordable price. So some things you might want to know there. And this is very important. I always talk about getting referrals and asking for referrals. That's why we use the send out cards tool to automatically do that for us along the sequence of having a new client as part of our organization. So when they sign up, 3 or 4 cards later, after we've reached out, proven our effectiveness, proven our follow-up, made it tangible, now we feel comfortable at that stage asking for a referral. Look at this figure right here. 2012, they were asked, how likely are you to recommend a Medigap plan to someone else that you know as they're turning 65? 91%. And we hear all the time from people who, when we're wrapping up, calling and giving them their new policy number, saying, congratulations, you've been approved, let's get the other plan canceled. And by the way, if you know anyone else who is on a plan that they've been on for a while, I guarantee you they probably haven't heard from their agent, and we would be glad to review their plan for them. And by doing so, you will become the hero because you'll let them know there's a better plan out there. Just let Chris shop it for you. And they're willing to do that. They'll tell you they'll do that when you're signing them up or going over the last part of it, giving them their policy number. But they actually won't until they get that reminder in the mail. Oh, yeah. I told Chris I was going to tell my friends and family about it. One lady that I had in Michigan actually told her whole knitting group after she got my card, and the entire knitting group signed up with me. It was at least 8 different ladies that went back and got some of their husbands to do it with them as well. Awesome. So you have to remind them when you're closing, when you're wrapping it up and delivering the policy, well, in an existential version of it, you're telling them here's the policy number and it's coming directly to you. And at that point, you have to follow it up with something tangible, reminding them that they need to get referrals to you, because 91% of them will do it if they're reminded at the appropriate time. And this is important. Which part of the Medicare plan do you like the most? And this is another key point that you'll need to continue to drive home when you're shopping Plan F for Plan F or recommending Plan G and so forth. The number one reason that they love their Medicare supplement plan is it allows them to see the doctor of their choice. It covers hospital expenses not covered by Medicare, like the $1,200 Part A deductible as soon as they check into the hospital. That's covered and so forth. But the number one thing and the number one fear that they'll communicate to you as to changing to a new plan, number one fear is trusting you. Number two, really close, is you're going to change my benefits somehow. I'm going to have to go to a plan doctor. I've never heard of that plan, so it's probably one of those Medicare Advantage plans with restrictions. So you've got to drive this home over and over again. This plan, exactly like your existing plan, allows you to see the doctor of your choice, any doctor that accepts Medicare. You can travel, you can go out of the country, you can do whatever you want to do, just like you can right now, allowing you to see any doctor of your choice. So again, these are key words you probably want to put in probably a bullet point sheet, like I've already created, a bullet point sheet where you want to hit this topic and hit that topic, and make sure you use these words often. And would you be willing to pay higher deductibles or other out-of-pocket expenses in order to reduce the monthly premiums you pay for your Medicare supplement plan? Now, you can read this one way, but the way you really should read this, yes, 70% say no, they don't want to pay a higher deductible, like paying their own Part B deductible for Plan G or Plan N. I think most of that, though, comes out of ignorance. And looking at the AHIP study even further, it showed that those people using Plan N for the first time is up drastically from before. So if you look at the change, look at the green bar from 2009, 16% of the people said yes, they would consider a higher deductible to lower that Medicare premium, Medicare supplement premium. Now that's gone up to 19%. So this is a continuing growth as the Medicare supplement premiums are growing more and more. More people, even a small incremental number like this, 3% of the Medicare supplement people, but more and more we're finding are open to discussing things like Plan G, which is really the better value in 99% of the cases, letting them pay their Part B deductible, and by doing so, eliminating the fee that goes on top of that deductible that the insurance company just keeps as a convenience fee for Plan F. To say nothing of the fact that when they go to renew their Plan F, or as it does it automatically, they're going to get sometimes a double rate increase, a twice as much rate increase on Plan F as they would have on Plan G. And again, if you've not seen that part of the explanation of Plan F to Plan G, look under the Medicare webinar replays and you'll see that there, the explanation. And I know it's under the February 1st marathon 3-hour webinar. But it's important to communicate this to them if you think that they can intellectually grab it. If they're confused, a little old lady who's really, really scared and just wants the convenience of Plan F, don't even go there. The biggest thing I've ever heard in sales is a confused mind is a closed mind and always says no. Don't confuse them. And if you don't feel like tackling the subject, just keep them in the same plan that they're on. It's going to be the easiest path to victory. Just give them a better rate. So I just wanted you to see here that the trend for going to Plan G and Plan N is growing. Hopefully we're having some part to do with that. But it's going to be better for them in the long run to consider an alternative plan than just Plan F, like all the sheep are in. Everyone's in Plan F, and they need to go away from the pack a little bit to the road less traveled and go to another plan that not so many people that are heavy consumers of Medicare services are on. And this is kind of interesting. Some potential changes to Medicare that people have proposed out there, namely senators, and this is what frightens them the most. And, you know, many mail pieces out there, like the one from Main Street Power Mail, which is a great mail house, by the way, they tap into this very curiosity. They tap into this fear by saying there have been changes to your Medicare coverage. You need to find out what these changes are. And so reply to this card and we will have someone get you these new changes under the federal law for 2013. Well, that's what they're tapping into right here, is kind of the fear of Medigap as a coverage option. And as of the date of this recording, around March 1st, 2013, I can tell you without a doubt, their fear is Obamacare. Their fear is the Affordable Health Care Act and how that's going to strip money out of Medicare. Part of that is a valid fear. Right now, as of today, $200 billion has already been pulled from the, quote, Medicare Trust Fund for funding the implementation in the latter part of 2013 for Obamacare. So quite literally, the seniors have paid into this supposed trust fund, but that budget is being robbed so that they can provide health care for people who've never paid in, never will pay in, are making the earned income credit for having all the children and everything else. They're actually getting paid by the government to not make any money. You could literally today be on welfare and get a $5,000 check when you file your taxes for the earned income tax credit, never having worked a day in your life. Amazing, but that's our system right now. And the seniors know that this is happening. It's a benefit-rich society, and guess where they're pulling those benefits from in order to provide it? They're pulling it from seniors. Where they're really going to feel this soon is the proposed Medicare Advantage changes for 2014. Already the CMS, the Center for Medicare Services, is sending out the notices of how much they're going to drastically be cutting those reimbursements to insurance companies for their Medicare Advantage people. So what I like to tell people now is, as they're concerned with this, and you do need to bring this up, because if they believe that you're the authority on this and you're going to stay up on this, they want to have you in their life to guide them through this later on. And if for no other reason to make you their agent other than the fact that you're going to stay in touch with them and keep them up on any potential moves they need to make in response to Obamacare, they may embrace you just for the sole fact that you are up on things and you have their best interest at heart as a whole, as seniors all out there. So you're keeping yourself, your ear to the ground. And they're concerned very much that Medicare supplements are going to be attacked. What I try to tell them all right now is the fact, as of today, the president has made it abundantly clear that he does not like Medicare Advantage. You're not on Medicare Advantage, Mrs. Jones, so that's great. You're on a Medicare supplement because you're on original Medicare, which the president does like, and you're just merely supplementing what original Medicare has with a private supplement plan. What he's really going after and taking the money from right now is Medicare Advantage, the replacement for Medicare. He literally has said over and over he wants all seniors to come back to original Medicare and stay with original Medicare because it's good enough for seniors. So the Medicare Advantage, as he's said many, many times, is a, quote, boon to the insurance companies. And that is what he's got his bullseye set on right now. He wants to eliminate and is starting to drastically reduce the benefits and the remuneration to insurance companies for Medicare Advantage right now. So you're okay. We're going to stay on top of this for you. If there's any legislative change that affects your Plan F or your Plan G, as our client, we will keep you notified on that. And if we need to make a move, we can always do that with your best interest at heart because we work with seniors every day. And it's imperative that we stay up on the latest changes in the law that may affect you. So as we go through our relationship together, and we hope to be your agent for life, we will be sending you frequent communications on any changes that may affect your Medicare plan. And they love that because this is their top fear right here. They're afraid that the government is going to take away their Medigap plan. So it's important that, again, that you bring that in. Sometimes you have to kind of tweak their pain spot to get them to move. And the deciding point for anyone to make any decision is when the pain of being where they are is too great and it's greater than the fear of changing. So if they're fearful of what's going to happen and they have no resource to reach out to, no agent to ask, their old agent has disappeared, and they're worried that their Medigap plan is going to be messed with or continue to rise at an exponential number, like a double-digit number every year, then that alone may be the sole factor in moving to you. So this is most interesting, and I love this slide. In the last 5 years, which of the following statements best describes your Medigap coverage? 49% has maintained the same plan for the last 5 years. This is our target demographic, and this is a huge number. If almost 50% have stayed with the same plan, I guarantee you their agent has disappeared. And if you plant the seed that your rate is going up and up and up, and your agent is not incentivized then to go out and find a lower price plan for you, and thus take a hit on his commission for having done so, then the agent is under the ethical dilemma of leaving you where you are with an increasing premium, or going through the motions to completely write you with a different company and go through underwriting approval for potentially a less commission. If you're faced with that financial ethical decision, and you're an agent with hundreds and hundreds of clients that you cannot stay in touch with, what would you do? And so when they ponder that for a minute, they may just consider going with you because they haven't heard from their agent in years. And again, if you're at the 3, 4, 5-year mark and they've not made a change, bingo, that is our target demographic. Those are the people that are reaching out to us and saying, yes, I'm so glad you called. Your timing could not be better. And that's the person that we want to reach out to. So if you find out that a person's 70 years old, 71, 72, and they've been on the same plan since 65, you have just struck gold. I would always move right to the health questions to see if there's anything you can do to help them, and then poke at it over and over again. Where's your agent been that's let you stay on the same plan? You can't stay on the same plan for 5 years. The company's off with their executives in the sailing yachts in Bahamas, just counting on the fact that you're going to let them continue to go into your bank account with free will. Did you know that the small print in your contract with them says they can raise the rates on you anytime they see fit? And yet you have to go out there and do something on your own manually to interrupt their ability to continue to charge you higher and higher premium. Wouldn't it make sense to have somebody that works for you at no charge, that looks at this every single 10.5 months when your renewal comes out, and can tell you honestly, it's time to move. I've got all your information. I can do the move for you. Just give me the go-ahead, and we'll put you with a less priced company with the same exact benefits. Let us do all the work for you. You don't need to be worrying about insurance, and we want to continue to place you in the best possible plan every year, because the difference can be the difference between paying what you're paying every year, going with a double-digit rate increase, or saving as much as $1,000 or $1,500 that year alone. So it's important to know that 49% of the people out there have just stayed with the same plan and filed it and forget it. Now, some agents might look at this number and say, wow, this is great. I can sign up a whole bunch of people and half of them are going to stay if I don't ever contact them again. I think that's probably the wrong way to look at this. But as far as going out there for market share, this is just really encouraging to understand. Most people are fire and forget. They sign them up and disappear. The agents do. It's a wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, goodbye, see you later. We don't need to be that kind of agent. We need to stay on top of these people, follow up with them all the time, frequently, very often, stay in front of them with a postcard, a greeting card, a Christmas card, Thanksgiving card, something to stay in front of them at all times, because if someone asks them, when's the last time your agent reached out to you? If they're your client, they don't need to be answering, oh, I haven't heard from them since they signed me up. So don't be that kind of agent. And this entire study from AHIP from 2012 points to this undeniable conclusion. You are right where you should be if you're offering Medicare supplement plans, with 92% of the people on them very happy with them, and over 90% of them wanting to recommend them to their friends and family who are turning 65, considering their Medicare options. This is the market to be in. And this study, more than any other study out there, shows that we're in the right place at the right time, with the concerns for seniors driving these people right into our lap so that we can take care of them and provide timely advice and counsel to get them the best rate out there, and to really bring a blessing into their home by giving them money on something that they were already buying in the first place. If you have any questions or comments, please submit an email to support@medicareagenttraining.com. That will create a support ticket so I can get back to you in a timely manner, no matter when and where I am in the world. So it creates a support ticket so it's not lost in email if you write to either support@medicareagenttraining or support@sellmedicarebyphone.com. They both go to the same place, creating an automatic support ticket for you. Now, as the last part of this webinar, I promised earlier in the week we'd be rolling out information on a new dialer platform that we've secured a discount with Matt McRae for. So that information is available in two places right now. It's under the What's New tab on the top right-hand side of MedicareAgentTraining.com as an article, and it's also found under the Tools You Can Use section near the bottom. Look for the Agents Dialer logo there. Thank you, God bless you, and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.